Hello, Van of Valor friends. We're here today with a really good friend and extremely unique soldier and human being, Joel Tavera.
I was born in America.
Okay.
Very proud of it.
Yeah.
Mom and dad are they're immigrants.
Yeah.
So we're all American citizens.
Nice.
I'm very proud to be an American.
Where'd you grow up?
North Carolina.
Okay. What part?
Havelock, Marine Corps Air Station, Cherry Point.
I did know that you were a Marine family. I forgot. I tried to forget.
Oh, well, I mean, bless his heart. He did the right thing. He followed his heart, my father.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, he's still serving today, working right along with you, and see him Marine proud. I see him at events.
Yeah, he does come to events when he can. But we all slow down after a while.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up in Havelock?
Oh, man, it was quiet. I felt... It was interesting because I was bored. Like, there's always the base pool. I always look forward to hurricanes, snow days, always in January.
Yeah.
Early February, late January, early February. It wasn't bad. It was quiet. I'd never dealt with any shootings. The worst scare would probably be Halloween when you got your bags of candy.
Yeah.
You take it to the local airport.
Yeah.
They put it through the X-ray.
Yeah.
Just to make sure there wasn't any metal in it.
Yeah.
But that was the worst. But not that anything ever happened. But always be careful because you see what's happening around the world.
Yeah.
Especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
There was some crooked things happening. And obviously, some of the worst things were happening in Florida at the time. But I wasn't here, so it didn't really pertain to me.
Yeah. That was a pretty good place to grow up.
Yeah, it was. It was quiet. And I realized I leave and it grows. We get a Walmart the year I leave. Then 4 new Osprey squadrons come to Cherry Point. So I could have been Air Wing. Or I could have done something else and gone to Lejeune.
Yeah.
But the Marine Corps didn't let me in, so I have pins on my shoulder.
Whoa. The Marine Corps didn't let you in because pins in your shoulder. What happened?
I had an injury my senior year of high school playing football.
Oh, shoot. What happened?
Dislocation, a few dislocations over the course of a few games. And I just had to hang it up. I'm like, I can't play anymore. This sucks. And then I'm like, well, that means I can't wrestle. It means I can't do track. So I was like, oh, well, whatever. I opted, went and got it checked. And the doctor said I had a tear after the MRI. And that wasn't necessarily a tear, but they're like, you know what? You had such and such. We got a few options. Like, what's going on? Like, my shoulder keeps on popping out. Now I can pop it back in. Like, we want to tighten it? Yep. We got a Bankart surgery for you. I'm like, okay. Well, who's going to do it? He's like, I'm not going to do it, but I have a great doctor, surgeon. He does, at the time, he was the one doing the surgeries for the hockey team, the Hurricanes.
Oh, wow.
So he did mine. It was, I think, a few hours surgery. Went in by robot. Did his thing, 1 incision in the front, 2 in the back. It hurt like crazy when I woke up. I couldn't move. I was so stiff. They got me started with therapies like a week later. It was okay though. Couldn't play any more sports. I was done. Couldn't play guitar. Couldn't surf. Really couldn't do anything. So
no football, no sports, no guitar, no surfing. Did you have a girlfriend?
At the time, I did. Yes, I did have a girlfriend at the time.
Did she stick it out?
Yeah, she did. The high school sweetheart. It was all right.
That's cool.
Well, somewhat.
Was that your first major injury in life?
Yeah, it was.
I wonder if that helped prepare you for what was to come later.
Oh, no.
No?
Actually, depends on major injury. I sprained my ankle jumping really high and doing multiple flips on a trampoline when I was like 13. That hurt. I felt like I broke my ankle, and I just sprained it really bad.
Yeah.
So, like, my thing looks inflamed now. Think of that twice the size, and that was like probably half my size.
Yeah, you got sunburnt.
I got sunburnt.
You enjoyed yourself in Costa Rica.
Yeah, I did. It was a fun time.
That's good. That's a beautiful country. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So here you are, a senior in high school. The Marines won't have you because of your injury. You're thinking about, you definitely want to serve. You're a very, very proud American.
Yeah, I was able to still maintain my thing for volunteer firefighting. After the recovery was, I was not fully recovered, but I was mostly recovered by the following. I was mostly recovered by like the following March.
Okay.
So happened when I was 17. And by the time I was 18, I was good to go. Lots of therapy, physical therapy, OT, PT. It did me a lot of work. It did a little help. It's just it was a little difficult hanging on a bar trying to do pull-ups. So
Uh,
that wasn't going to happen.
I see. I
I could do
see.
three, but then after three, my started irritating my shoulder. So like,
Yeah.
not worth it.
And pull-ups being a basic requirement in Marine Corps
Mhm.
PT, you were
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, you use
Okay.
three to
Yeah.
get in, but you kind of look like a
Yeah.
piece
You
of
know.
crap if all you do is three.
Yeah. Who wants to do that?
No.
Yeah. Definitely not you. What? Why the Army then?
Looking around, Marine Corps could not guarantee you a job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they could guarantee you one job only. Not necessarily what I wanted to do. Navy kind of guaranteed me a job, but I didn't want to be stuck on a ship. This wasn't my thing. To each their own. I give credit because someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Air Force was a little hefty at the time. Hefty. Air Force wasn't really. They were kind of pushing people away back in 2006.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "No, I'm going to the military." Like they went straight to the Air Force. I'm like, really? Well, yeah. Most of my friends, their fathers were in the military, Marine Corps, or the Army, and I told them like, "You're gonna join the service, join the Air Force. Like, do not join the Marine Corps. Do not join the Army.
Mm-hmm.
Join the Marine. Do your thing." And yeah. Then they checked in with the Coast Guard. They were looking for Hispanic women, not males. Like in 2 years, if you come check out, we'll be looking for a Hispanic man. I'm like,
What?
yeah, because it's such a small service.
Yeah.
Their the quotas are done at certain times for how many people they can get in.
Yeah.
Because every 4 years, people are getting out. People don't stay in for the long term.
Yeah.
So just keep the quotas.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's what they had to do, I suppose.
Yeah. So I'm like, like 2 years. I can't wait 2 years. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Walked into the Army recruiters. Like, hey, what are you thinking about? Like, here's my scores. They sent them over from the Navy.
You're off tomorrow.
He's like, no. He's like, when do you want to leave? I'm like, well, I'm still in college. I gotta drop class. I'm not gonna drop out eventually, but when you figure out if I'm gonna drop the rest of my classes or not.
Yeah.
I just can't stay here.
About that, what were you studying?
I started with the 2+2 program at NC State.
Okay.
And that was where I discovered they weed you out the first 2 years. How dedicated are you to school? I wasn't that dedicated.
Yeah.
But I did take some credits back with me into the military. So
Which gave you probably E3 or E4?
E2.
Okay.
Gave me one rank.
Okay.
Just one rank. I was like, wow, that's it. But E1 through E3, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Just slightly, it's like $120 more.
Yeah.
Nothing more, nothing less. Those E1 through E3.
120 a month helps.
It does.
At that time, a
You're
lot.
19 years old.
Yeah.
What direction? I don't think it does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
More room for error, I
Yeah,
guess.
way more room for error. Like, hey, you've got an LES. We can take this much money out of your paycheck for 13 months, and you can have this device. Like, oh.
Okay.
You remember that after basic training?
Yeah.
I know they did that for you at Langley.
Oh,
Not Langley, at Lackland.
Lackland.
Yeah, I know they did at Lackland.
Yeah, they do all that kinds of, like, they do car sales, they do everything. It's crazy. Like, you go around any barracks on any base parking lot and you look around and you see Mustangs and you see this and that. And it's
cars.
Like, wait a minute. This is like E4s and below that are single. How
are they doing it? Living paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck.
And it's a bad habit to get into because then when we retire, whether medically or not, we have bad habits over the course of a career, whether short or long. And that tends to be the case. And I'm like, hold on a second, you're making way more, like 100 to 200% more now as a combat injury. And you're still living from paycheck to paycheck? I mean, is there somebody equated to have poor spending habits or poor budgeting?
Yeah.
Now, I can't say that's everybody, but that's a good portion of the military.
Yeah.
Because, they keep us at the poverty level. Just enough to have something, not enough to have a whole lot.
Well, that drives reenlistment. And then right when they give you a little bit more is when a lot of people are having children.
Yep.
And they need that little bit more. And it's I fell into all of those cycles.
Oh, we all do. It's a black hole. But, it's a beautiful thing sometimes. I do like about the military is that it doesn't conform to us. We join the military and you conform to the military. Regulations change as needed by policy, but it's a beautiful thing. We have to conform to the military. It doesn't conform to us.
Yeah.
So
did you have a difficult time conforming in boot camp? AIT?
No. I was a little fat, but they shred all that fat off of me in Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay, that'll do it. That'll do it.
It's hot. It's hot. So they took me to a man's basic training, allegedly. They told me, and it was good. It was hot between the brown recluses and the copperheads, rattlesnakes, and the water moccasins.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are things that really would have affected me if I dealt with any one of those. Brown recluse is probably the closest thing I got to anything crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where? That's not where you sustained your combat injury.
Oh no.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Brown recluses are nasty little buggers.
They are nasty. They're always checking, and then ticks.
Yes.
Oh, ticks. Oh man, ticks are not the fun.
Yeah.
Buddy checks. I learned about the whole buddy checks. I'm like, oh, you gotta be closer than brothers, huh?
Have you ever met Colonel Nicole, call sign Fifi Malichowski?
Malichowski. Is she in D.C.?
Yes, she was, and now she lives out. But she is one of the most badass airmen I've ever met. She was she's a female fighter pilot. Was the first female, Thunderbirds pilot. Yeah, nice. So she's just charging the way, leading the way, command pilot, on and on. Full bird colonel, and in her annual SEER refresher training, she gets bit by a tick, and a tick-borne illness causes her a traumatic brain injury so bad she can't speak. She's recovered now, and she's on a speaking circuit.
Yeah.
But for a number of years, she was more or less not functional.
She didn't get Lyme's disease, did she?
Yeah, and so I think it was something.
Oh, man.
You have to listen to her story, but it's incredible. Yeah. I'll put you in contact with her because
I've heard of her before.
Yeah,
because the air show happens here every year. Air show is okay. It just ran differently because I was used to having the air show in North Carolina.
Yeah,
open up the base, people would come in. You have secure spots you could park. If you didn't have access to the rest of the base, you could only go certain places to get to it.
Yeah,
and we allowed the civilian population to come to it.
Yeah,
which is cool.
McDill doesn't over here.
They do, but sponsor-wise, you park your vehicle off the base, you take a shuttle in. Most of the time, I don't really think it's open to the civilian population.
Wow.
I don't know. I can't say because I've been to it once and it was just hot and miserable.
Yeah.
There was no cover anywhere, and the other place didn't have much cover, but at least you had places you could go to get some cover, like tents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think here they've probably not been doing it as long. I don't know how old McDill is versus Cherry Point. Cherry Point's been around since World War II.
Or we get Fifi to get us into whatever the best fighter air show is in the country. She has all the connections.
That's what I'm doing. The Thunderbirds are here. So
if you're listening to us, Malichowski, we want to go to an air show, a cool one.
I want to go as long as the Blue Angels are flying there too.
Oh, shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired.
You heard that.
Get your head down. Shots fired.
He's a Blue Angel, not a Thunderbird.
Yeah,
that's okay. We still love you.
I grew up with the Blue Angels.
What about the Army-Navy rivalry? What the heck, man?
Honestly, I've only been to one game, and the Army won.
Yeah.
When I joined the military, everybody's like, "Oh, Army!" Like, guys, I don't care anymore. Because I grew up a Navy fan. I grew up in a military base, and all I wanted to do was either play football at the Naval Academy, get into the Naval Academy. That was a pipe dream. It never happened.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? We're good. It was like, what do you do? Nothing. But the Commanders Cup, it's pretty cool. It's a good rivalry, but I look at it, same team.
Yeah.
Really different
red,
teams.
white, and blue.
We have the same fight.
Yep.
One fight. So same team, same fight.
Yeah.
So maybe two teams, but it's fun for the rivalry. But the thing is, it's just funny to see how things have kind of progressed.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, the Army's won a lot more than they had in the previous 20.
Yeah.
But it's just you see the team.
I'm with you. I think it's one team. And the second team, number 2, is the United Kingdom. And team number 3 is Canada. And on with our allies. But we're one team. We're definitely
one team. It's nice to have a rivalries like we do in the military.
Oh, yeah.
We still have our cockiest of cocky. I would call the SEALs out for that one, but I'll probably call the Marines out on that one first.
Yeah.
But they have a reason to be cocky because they're very squared away. And then
what about SEALs? What's their
SEALs?
excuse?
No, I don't know what their skill. I mean, have you seen their training?
Yeah.
Not anybody could do that.
No.
Well, I have a lot of respect for anybody who attempts and gets through that, because they put you through hell.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Guys go back and back and back. Some guys, you have to have the grit and want to do that.
Yeah.
Some like other people. I mean, the PJs, you guys have in the Air Force, they're pretty badass guys. But I'm wondering how this works. Like, so you're telling me they're doing okay, good ass VAV and everything else, really smart, great shape, and want to go do fun stuff.
Yep.
So they join the Air Force to live the life of the Army. That doesn't sound too smart.
Yeah, right? And then, yeah, exactly.
No offense, my PJ friends, no offense. I'm like, that's a little redundant. But then again, I thought about, like, you know what? If that's the only way they can get into action, then power to them.
Well, one of my good friends at PJ likes to put it like this, Mike Maroney. He likes to say, I'm an extremely well-trained pacifist. And then he'll say, don't start no shit, won't be no shit.
Yeah.
And what he means is, well, he's a PJ. He's pretty much trained to do everything on the planet and then some.
Yeah.
But he's not interested in anything other than saving lives.
Yeah, that's his main point.
Yeah.
We lost 2 PJs in Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
And the people don't understand that. Like, I like that the movie portrays the guys that go with the helmets. Not the military helmets, like the protective helmets. Those are protected. Those were guys going in for medical to see if they could help save and recover the pilots. I was like, oh, I was always wondering who, what, where. I'm like, not saying that that's what they do now. Maybe they did back then. I was like, oh, there's a good documentary. It shows both sides. That's on Netflix right now.
Yeah. Check that out.
That was amazing. It shows the people who were there at the time, how they felt, what they saw.
Wow.
And it has their interview. And it's a 3-part series.
Luttrell, is his interview on there?
Luttrell?
Wasn't he the Ranger who got the Medal of Honor out of that?
Which one?
I might have the name wrong. In Black Hawk Down.
No, there's
one of the Rangers got a Medal of Honor.
I don't know who. I know that the pilot didn't get the Medal of Honor, but the pilot that survived, he was the POW that was eventually released back to the States.
Yes.
I met him 2 years ago on a fundraiser here in Tampa.
Oh, cool.
Good guy. Just sucks to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
They do a review and ask him what his name, trying to get information out of him. He just answered back like he's supposed to.
Yep.
They beat him up, sent videos back. Eventually he was released.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
The Rangers did what they had to do, but, those we didn't have to really stay there that long.
Yeah. Well, I feel like those stories, those Ranger stories and those Chesty Puller stories and all those Audie Murphy stories, just a plethora of stories throughout the ages were a massive motivator in my career when I felt like I needed to muster a little more strength to get going. Did you find that to be a motivator in your career, the stories of those before, like the Pat Tillmans or whatever stories resonated with you?
It did. I'll tell you, going through my advanced individual training in Fort Gordon, Georgia, my final hall before I graduated, where they taught me to attack satellite with OE254s for retrans, meaning signal.
Yeah.
And that was my last month of schooling before we did our final FTX to graduate.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because you walk down the hallway and you see all these signal soldiers who got the Medal of Honor for their actions from like World War II, Korea, Vietnam. I'm like, you see a bronze, not a statue, but a bronze face thing of them and their actions and their citation. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, so you don't have to be only in combat arms soldier, because they were connected to the combat arms and they supported.
Oh yeah.
And they tell me, you're gonna shoot, move, and communicate. Always. And you keep your officers and non-commissioned officers communicating. Only way you move the soldiers into the battlefield.
Yeah.
Because when all goes down, comms, not all comms is easy. Some comms is very easy. I'll tell you, anybody can be an RTO.
Okay.
Any infantryman, anybody can learn a York radio. Now, can they program the radio? Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, certain things. Understanding the theory behind it. It's all theory. Theory is this going to work, but then what happens when you're in a bunch, you're stuck somewhere and you can't get it, and you're doing what you were told, it doesn't work. You improvise. Make it happen. So
overcome that barrier. And then what happens when that happens under fire?
Sometimes people realize what happened and they recognize you. Sometimes they don't, but you did the right thing.
Just keep trying to work through it.
Keep working through it. Just keep on working through it, and just not quitting. Never quit. Don't stop. Never quit.
That got you through AIT, and then they see the soldiers' faces on the wall.
Towards the very end, because I just started losing motivation. Like, okay, I've already learned these, this, and this. One hall was all networking computers. The other hall was all radios. And then the last hall was tech satellite. Oh, ooh, this thing gets bigger than I thought it was. You may have to put this on the side of the mountain. And we're talking about Afghanistan. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is how you contact people. Like, okay, this is the bird. This is how you find the bird. And all these different things. Like, break out if you did really take a laptop or something else to find what's going on. Telling us about deciphering things. The little black box that usually E7s or above can hold on to. I held on to it as an E4, but I didn't handle it. I didn't lock it up. They had all the codes, deciphering codes.
Okay.
So, everything hops, frequency hopping.
Yeah.
So you plug it in.
So that the enemy can't track it?
Exactly.
Okay.
But I think our enemy were fighting in the Middle East. I think they were maybe smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think they had the equipment to do that.
Okay.
They're very primitive.
Yeah.
I mean, we got blown up with very primitive things anyways.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But who knows? They could have.
Leading up to when you were injured, was this your first deployment?
Yes. It only takes one.
Yeah.
Brother, it only takes one.
Only takes one.
Yep.
How long were you there in country for?
5 months and 20-something days. I've been saying 5 months and 17 days, but I just got the exact numbers back. It was 5 months and 22 days.
What was your last? Where did you go to lunch the last time before you left? Wait, you were stationed at Bragg.
No, I was stationed in Fort Eustis.
Fort Eustis.
Yeah. Where did I go to lunch before I left for the military?
Yeah, your last before deployment. What was the last thing Joel Tavera wanted to do before that deployment?
Oh, I can't put that on camera.
Okay.
I was joking. Kind of messed up that process. What did I do? Well, because I was out of Fort Eustis. Warwick was pretty ghetto, but down the road there was excellent food in the hood.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind going down the road to spots that were quite questionable for people lighter complected than me at the time.
Okay.
Because I was always dark. In the summertime, it was always darker, and in the wintertime, it always got lighter. But it didn't bother me because we came back from the field, took some time off. We did our ceremony. They patched us, the division we were told we were going to go with. We packed the stuff up, closed off all communication with family, said byes, and then we left the next day.
Okay. To Germany first?
No. We went to Langley. Langley Air Force Base, not far from Fort Eustis.
Yeah.
From there up to Iceland to Kuwait.
Wow.
And Kuwait, Ali Asaline. So settled, re-zeroed weapons, acclimated. It was hot. Saw 3 or 4 people that I'd known from before. Like, wow, the Army being this big. I ran into an old drill sergeant, somebody who was stationed on my base that was running patrol. They were running PSD from Kuwait back and forth to Iraq and other things. Then, another person I went to AIT with as well.
Wow. And hot, like the hottest you've ever experienced hot?
Yeah, like hotter than North Carolina in July and August. And that's hot.
Mop? Do you have to put mop gear on? And that?
No, it was weird. Did not mop. Thank God we didn't take mop gear with us. No.
Yeah.
And if they told us to bring it, I didn't bring it with me. I was going to die when I die.
Yeah, I don't think we brought it after 6 or 7 or whatever it was, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm good. I joined in 06. By 07, I was already in the Middle East. And then it was, went around. I went around Iraq quite a bit because my platoon, we mostly handled satellites, mostly combat support, so it was cool. I got tasked out because I was go-getter. I would volunteer for anything and everything. And my My lieutenant looked out for me. He's like, "Hey, Tavera, we got an opportunity to go to Camp Delta. You want to go? Just pack your stuff up. You'll be gone tomorrow." I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. Like, well, we don't know how long you're gonna be there for, but they need somebody could do this. They don't have a cable dog up there. Like, nope. Okay, I'll do it. The jack of all trades and the master of none.
Cable dog. I've heard that term.
Yeah, that would be the Lima. I was a uniform, but I could be cross trained in all the jobs. There was one job I couldn't do because I didn't understand everything on it because it was a little more complex. They even set some of our other comms guys to go get reclassed over a course of a month or 2 months.
Wow.
So,
but at this point, you've been moving by convoy, by helicopter, a mix of anything all over Iraq, and
anything. So,
did you see like life happening? Did you engage any of the locals? Was it?
Yeah, you saw people, but just I try not to stare at people. To be honest, as people did, I only saw children smile.
Yeah,
but the adults,
yeah,
I take that back. I saw one adult smile. It was a woman, and she didn't. No, it was a man. Actually, it was a man. It was a man. She had a man smile.
Yeah,
that was weird because I figured something was wrong.
Yeah,
because I was looking at them. Yeah, like dude, nobody here is like happy. Like, well, look how hot it is outside. I'm like, I'd be miserable too. So that was the jokes.
No, I get it, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes those kids' smiles, though, like sometimes they warm me up, or those memories do still. Sometimes they torment me too, though. So yeah,
a little bit. I know. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
It's just seeing a dead child laying on the ground. I'm like, oh shoot, and I had nothing to do with it. Neither did my group of people while doing patrol.
Yeah.
Or driving by and seeing that, like, oh shoot.
But the lack of being able to do anything about it questions, yeah.
It does. But you know, ROE was different back then.
Yeah, yeah. So leading up to the day you were hurt, what was there anything different about this mission? You're out at Camp Delta now.
Yeah, no, I was at Camp Adder at the time. I was in Tulare.
Okay.
I came back from Camp Delta. I came back a month earlier, like weeks earlier. If I had not came back weeks earlier, that would probably never happen to me.
Okay, well, how was Delta? That was where you wanted to work.
Delta was primitive.
Yeah.
Very primitive. We had Georgians, we had Lithuanians, we had Italians. A lot of people there. Wasn't bad. Georgians were very rough people.
Yeah.
And the Salvadorians too.
Yep.
Salvadorian army. They go C5 lands on the base. The thing goes up. You know, the big old front goes up. Hops these little Spanish dudes on like desert.
They have a C5 and
no. There's our C5.
Oh, okay.
We brought them in.
Okay.
They were ready to go. We brought them in. You know, other armies were there for hire, for real cheap.
Yeah.
Real cheap. And we gave them all of our old DSUs.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around seeing these guys like with like colonel, captain. I'm wondering like, are these guys like really officers?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but then
they were.
Well,
I'll answer that question for you. I think so.
No, I don't think they
wasn't there. But...
No, I wasn't. I don't think they were. I always assumed they were, so I was respectful. Like, but they had a job in the Army. It was called barber. They had their own little compound where and all the services were free to come there. You didn't speak Spanish. You look at the thing, you point at what you want, and they do it for you.
Whoa, that's
cool. I was like, wow, you guys get free haircuts here. I have to pay for them back at Adder.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Free is cheaper.
It was, but I didn't know that was my safety net.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing, I guess, for that was going back and forth from the hangar I slept in.
Yeah.
Back and forth to the showers. I'm like, you know what? If a mortar's gonna hit, just let it hit like dead on, please. I just want to die. I don't want to suffer in agony.
Dang.
Well, I mean, let's be real here.
Yeah.
A slow death is worse than a fast death.
Yeah.
I'm just, realistically.
Yeah.
So,
what about living like you're doing?
Living life. I'm very blessed. I was given a chance to live again, and it set me back many years, and I'm glad it slowed me down.
Yeah.
I'm still traveling, doing the things I want to do, helping organizations. I'm a ambassador for Building Homes for Heroes.
Yep.
We build homes for veterans.
Yeah.
Mortgage-free homes for veterans. And we concern ourselves with veterans' mental health, their financial literacy by getting them a financial advisor as well. So it's kind of cool. They have a lot of options that we're just opening up because it's like, want to be more than just have people just give you a home and walk away.
Yeah.
We just look out for the people we get homes to.
Yeah.
And it's cool. So, like I said, we could refurbish a home to nearly new.
Yeah.
Or better than new.
Yeah.
And sometimes they knock down walls and add more rooms, depending how big the family is.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool.
Joel's talking about Building Homes for Heroes, an organization which he was the 7th recipient of the home we're sitting in right now, a beautiful home here near Tampa, Florida. Joel is an ambassador, so he gets to speak for Homes for Heroes and
Building Homes for Heroes.
Building Homes for Heroes.
Homes for Heroes is another organization.
There's no.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Building Homes for Heroes is the one that that
one. Yeah, but Homes for Heroes is another organization.
Okay.
It's just too close, way too close.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm like, no, guys, Building Homes for Heroes. Like, okay, never mind. BHH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you mind talking a little bit about the incident in which you were hurt, if you remember?
Yeah, I do remember a lot of it. It's just,
we don't have to if you don't.
Oh, we can. Okay. I volunteered for duty. Somebody was trying to get out doing some work. I was like, whatever, I'll just go do it. Like, I'm going to be gone in a few days. And I thought about it. Like, I'm leaving in 2 days. I don't need to be doing any duty.
It's one of those.
It's one of those. Okay. And I figured it was going to hurt. I'm just going to go off the base. I'll be gone for the day and I get back in the evening. Good. That wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Taking transport back and forth. I'm going to get there in time. Thankful I threw my IVA in the back. And then my Kevlar, or my ACH, was actually on my feet. And my M249 was actually between my legs. And then we started rolling. I felt something rumble. And I didn't know that anything went off on the base because it's a big base. It's a really big air base. And then another thing rumbled soon. Like, oh, shoot. Rolling out. And then I heard a whistle. When you hear the whistling, it's too close for comfort. Like, I didn't know it was a rocket. I didn't know it was a mortar. I got a little weird. And normal as I had in the past, I heard a faint voice. It wasn't anybody in the truck. I opened the door to my vehicle. And I slightly didn't close it all the way. I'm thankful for that. And I just kind of left it. The person beside me, he was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, dude, I don't feel right. Something's wrong. We're rolling at, like, the base is like 25, 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Getting ready to head out the back gate. And then moments later, hits the vehicle, does the spinning. I'm flung out. I'm on fire. I'm pulled away from the fire. Kevin was there.
Kevin Lombardo.
Yeah, Kevin Lombardo was there. There was another. He wasn't there on the spot, but he showed up when there was fire and the smoke. And there was an airman there that was trying to figure out what's going on. The captain at the time, he took command, got me pulled away from the truck. The truck was on fire, and all the rounds were cooking off. I thought we were being attacked. I had no idea. The explosion just happened. I remember the fire, and then I'm on my back. I'm miserable. I felt like I've been blindsided. I've been blindsided before in football. Get the ball, grab it, start running, and then, like, look, it just hit from the side and it's like done. Okay, great. I didn't realize that somebody was zoned in on me. They were just watching the ball. They knew where to go.
Yeah.
I was like,
What was zoned in on you this time? A mortar?
Yeah, no, it was a rocket, a 122 rocket.
122, gee.
Which, now that we're going through these lawsuits,
it's a big defensive lineman.
It is. Yeah, it is a big defensive lineman. And turns out it was made in Iran. Those are being funneled through southern Iraq, from Iran into Iraq. And
there is a big lawsuit about that now.
I'm a part of that, one of the faces of it.
I'm as well. I don't know if anything's ever going to pan out.
Yes, it is. Right now,
the blast lawsuit.
The first 15 people they saw was last year, in 2022. I spoke to the judge, but they needed more information. They pulled more info. Turns out, after my injury happened, they sent the QRF directly out there. The QRF realized that there was the launch site.
Yeah.
Nobody was there. But the time-lapse things were there. They sent them off.
Yeah.
There were 2 155
missile tubes.
They were they were dug into the ground.
Shit.
So they were looking to hurt more people because they know our SOPs. We put everything online.
Yeah.
They can find it. They know how to set us up. And because they found that, it took 10 months for the group, I think it was either third group or no, it was fifth group guys that were there, to find out who the guys that actually set those off were.
Wow.
It took care of the problem, but I got that postcard in the hospital 10 months later. But because we don't just go after bad guys, we want to make sure they're the right ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
yeah. And they got him.
Yeah, they got him, and it was really nice to hear that they did. That first sergeant is now a chaplain in the Army.
The fifth group first sergeant.
Yeah, that one for that ODA.
Who went and got the guy.
No, not him, his guys.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he was out there with them or not. He could have been.
And he's a chaplain now.
Yeah, he's a chaplain now, yeah.
That's cool.
It was really cool.
Love to talk to him.
I would love to talk to him. First Sergeant Leo, I don't know what his, he told me to call him by first name, but I did not know his last name.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I don't know. I wish I could find
A lot
him.
of the group guys are first name only anyway.
I know. I was like, man.
I love that.
Hey, call me Leo. Like, sir? Leo. Leo. Like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
His bald head, little Fu Manchu going on. He had like the Egyptian thing going on. It was like maybe 4 or 5 inches.
And he's a chaplain now.
No, yeah, I don't think he's got that anymore.
No, probably not. Well, unless he's like a, I don't know, a Delta chaplain, or if they have some kind of someone behind the door.
That's true. It was kind of cool. I was like, man, I'd love to see how that worked out. But last I think I heard he was in the Pentagon and something else. Who knows? He had enough time and he could have retired.
Yeah.
It's been really nice though. I'm blessed to meet people. But yeah, I wish the story was cooler.
That is a cool story.
No, it's not cool.
You said Kevin Lombardo was there.
No, he wasn't there at the time. He just came out of his provost marshal. He was the provost marshal on the base. Okay. He just came out of his office and he saw that there was an explosion and he saw fire coming from the truck. He didn't see the truck, but he saw fire and smoke. So he got in his vehicle and sped in that direction.
Okay.
By that time, the vehicle was already on fire, but I was on the ground and he came and I guess he pulled me away from where the truck was because the truck spun off.
Yeah.
But the rounds were cooking.
Yeah.
He wasn't protected.
Yeah.
But thank God the rounds were in the back of our up-armored Suburban.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of armor on those things.
They're just bouncing off in there.
They're just bouncing off, cooking on the inside. The 3 guys were burnt to death, and then I was obviously burnt over 65%. Some fingers and some other things. And then I lost my vision. One eye was blown out, and the other one's fried like an egg. Got the hammer toe on my left foot, and then my right foot shrapnel hit it, and I had to keep on cutting due to an infection. And the infection was below the knee. Excuse me. I'm thankful for that. Life could be harder. If I had it above the knee, it'd be a lot harder to get around.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. There's nothing cool about any of that.
No, there's some good experiences.
But after all that darkness, every time I've met you, you bring light to everyone around.
Sometimes.
You do.
Sometimes.
You bring smiles, you bring tears, you bring laughter.
Twisted humor. Dark humor.
That's the way to do it. Of course.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
The light. Peace in my heart. I'm a Christian. I'm definitely a Christian. I'm a firm believer in the Lord. This wouldn't happen to me if I couldn't handle it. And the person that was supposed to be in that seat that chose not to want to go do his duty because he was tasked out to do it, he would have never been able to deal with this. He would have died that day.
Uh-huh.
Did I take the sacrifice for him? No. Nobody knew what was going to happen. It's he's got the guilt he's got the guilt he has to live with the rest of his life, and he feels so bad. I'm like, it's not your fault. It was my day. And I got comfortable. If I wasn't comfortable, then I wouldn't have been in that truck.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Like nothing different than just getting packed up, packing up all my ammo, and things that are necessary, and just heading out of the base for part of the day. Just a simple little mission.
Yeah.
And come back. Nothing's gonna happen. It'd be like any other day. Not.
No.
Like I didn't even get off the base. But thank God I didn't get off the base because the back gate, you had the Ugandans. They were the ones dealing with they were the security in the back gate. On the side gates near the ziggurat. So, it's everything happens for a reason. They're at least able to get me the TMC and get me out, get me a buyout as soon as possible, just to relieve my cranioplasty, to relieve the piece of plate, the pressure. And
do you remember any of that? You're on fire, and then
no, I remember how hot it felt, how miserable I was.
Yeah,
that's all I remember. And then I remember looking at the sky, the blue sky, white clouds, the face of Kevin Bardo.
Wow.
And just chatting with him, telling him, he's like, yeah, he's asking me questions, see if I was like, yeah, I saw really quickly. I'm like, yeah, I just want to see my mom and dad. I'm supposed to go home in a few days. And I don't ask him what was happening. Then he found a place to give me IV, and I passed out.
Jesus.
And then that was it. And I woke up to hearing voices that sounded really loud. Both my eardrums were blown out. And then they healed themselves, but they're not flexible like most eardrums are, so I'm pretty hard of hearing. Just got some tubes put in my ears recently.
Okay. I had wondered with your vision if other senses has improved, so you've already answered that.
Yeah. It has improved, and then gotten worse too, so.
Okay. Your smell is...
It's good.
Okay. Well, your spirit is amazing.
Thank you.
And I feel like had you not been hurt like that in football, you may have gone on to Annapolis, you may have gone on to this, but you getting knocked down gave you so much strength. And then the Marine Corps telling you no, except for one job.
No. They told me no in general.
No in general?
In general, because that job would have been the job to get. I wanted communications or intel. And then, like, oh, we can give you infantry. And then, like, oh, wait,
no.
The medical doctor, the naval doctor says you're not qualified. I'm like, excuse me? Your pins in your shoulders, bring us your medical records. And I brought them back to MEPS. They didn't like that too much.
So the Marine Corps tells you no, and you're like, F that.
No, not really.
I'm going to get it.
I was butthurt about it. And I looked around. I started with the Navy. Then I went and talked to the Air Force, but they had a bad attitude. That recruiter had no problems getting. He hit all his quotas.
Yeah,
he was hitting all his quotas. No problem.
I remember those days.
Yeah. Everyone knows. Like, hey, look, like everybody knows all the cute girls from the Air Force.
Yeah,
or something like that. Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. It's not always the case.
Yeah. Dude, I think your story is absolutely incredible. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry your friends aren't.
Yeah, it does suck. It's yeah, this is life. It happens. Life's too short to cry over spilled milk. I live my life because they can't live theirs.
Would you do it again?
I would.
You're an absolute patriot. I know
I would do it again. I would do it again. It's just, would I volunteer for that duty? Yeah, actually, I think I probably would have. Actually, I wouldn't have. Actually, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have done it. I would have volunteered for another duty later. Go figure, probably would have happened differently. So, like I said, when it's your day, it's your day.
Yeah. About patriotism, and you don't have to talk a lot about it if it hurts you, and I know it does.
It does, yeah, not so much. I'm 17 years out.
Yeah.
If I haven't come to terms with what's happening to me by now, I'm failing.
Yeah.
I'm not growing. I'm not learning about myself. I've grown up a lot from 20-year-old Joel to 38-year-old Joel.
Yeah.
A lot's grown. I've learned a lot about myself. Whereas my buddies were all dealing with the psychological aspects, I dealt with that after the fact. I was more dealing with my physical aspects in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I had two different ways of approaching it. In the process of dealing with the physical, I was dealing with psychological as well.
Yeah.
So not saying it was harder, just wasn't as extreme. It felt a little more extreme to me. But I can't compare myself because we all have different injuries and different experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've been around people who've turned into smoke. Like, they're there now, they're gone next. Moments later, they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not something easy to unsee.
Yeah.
But this one is your day, it's your day.
Yeah.
So you've had many of experiences of that with that camera being shot at.
I have.
More than once.
I have.
I'm sure they don't care. They're just seeing a body there and they're just going to shoot at it. That's
Yeah,
all the enemy.
of course. Well, I know exactly who you're talking about. And vice versa.
Yeah.
Eventually, we find ourselves that way too, you know?
Yeah, we
Don't
do.
want to be, but I think the country demands it.
That's true.
Demanded so much of you, Joel.
I did my little part. And my little part mattered when it mattered. Mattered when it needed to matter. And now I'm here, just living my life. Just like I said, it's a large sacrifice because we raise our hand knowing that we could get injured or die at any point. I know what that oath said, and you never think you ever have to give your last measure. And thankfully, I didn't have to. Pretty dang close. Thank God, I didn't have to.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
I thank you.
Is there anything else you want anyone to know about you?
No, just I'm blessed to be alive.
You like long walks on the beach? You're single. I know you are because
I've been single.
Finally got rid of that other girlfriend.
No, I'm not finally. She was a wonderful girlfriend. She was in South Africa.
Okay.
The other person in between.
Yeah.
No need.
Yeah,
that was just the one I was talking to. She's cool. We're still friends.
Yeah.
So we're lots of friends. I just
Sorry, I cut you off on your
long
walk on the beach because I was going to ask you on a date, but my wife's not happy with that.
That's funny. I'm good though. It's been good. I can't say too much.
Yeah.
It's been good.
If you had one lasting thought for the soldiers out there, the potential soldiers, or those, I don't know, those who are thinking about America and wondering why they should love the country as much as it loves them, what would you tell those people?
Not until you've left your country to see how things are in other places. We're not a perfect country. We have our sets of problems. We're huge, 360 million people plus. And not until you leave, you realize you have way more freedoms here than you would at anywhere else in the world. Yes, we're locked down to the States. That's true, but we're the place you can make yourself. You do the work, put the effort, and you sacrifice. You typically can do anything you want here in America. It's just it's a seesaw of political emotions as of the last 8 and 12 years. But still, it's been good. It's the rights that I'm a straight male. I'm Hispanic, and I don't care if you're gay. I don't care whatever you believe in, what religion. I don't care. You want to love a tree, love a tree. I don't care. It's not my thing. My mindset's very libertarian. You do you, respect others, and respect yourself. Just stay true to yourself. And I'm happy I can practice Christianity because it's a way of life. It's not religion. It's a way of life, and I can openly do that here. I can't do that in the Middle East. I can't do that in parts of Indonesia. I can't do that. There's a lot of places you can't be a Christian. So it's like, America, yeah. Canada, yeah. Mexico, yeah. Central South America, yeah. But it's just amazing. A lot of countries have a lot to say about America. A lot of people have mirrored their governments based upon the American government.
Yeah.
I'm like, not until you get outside your walls of comfort, will you really see how things are in other countries. Afghanistan, women couldn't go to they couldn't go to school. They couldn't get an education in Afghanistan until America showed up.
Mm-hmm.
But that was only for a brief time that girls could go get educated.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I don't know how it is now that they took it back.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. But see, you think you're a second-class citizen of America? Oh no. Oh no, this is just in general. Until you see it through the eyes of other people and how things are. A lot of educated people have come over to America and they have no one wants to go back to the country they came from. For that reason. Just to protect the freedoms that we have. And we're going to continue making mistakes. But nothing is perfect. This was just an idea that our founding fathers had of this secular country that accepts everything and everybody. So far it's worked. 2 250 plus years now, almost 250
About
years.
to hit 250.
Yeah, they hit 250. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not doing too bad. We are a younger nation, but still.
Yeah. Well, you heard it best from Joel Tavera. No one can say it better. Love your country. Love your fellow citizens. Love yourself. Don't let people tell you how to live, and don't judge us for the way they're living. An American hero. I'm very honored to have you and be able to share your time with our followers, Joel.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Kevin.
Yep. And I think we're good, Dave.
Thank you. I'm fairly...